What's up, guys? Welcome to Self-Help. Today we are going to be talking about the 60 rule again and what to do when you rate your emotions as being above 60. So in this range that is above 60, it's basically this idea that you're kind of in a crisis at that time, and what usually happens is if you don't recognize that and you don't employ these pretty intense strategies, then you're probably going to be doing something that you're going to regret later, and you're probably going to make things worse.
So this is like when anybody else would classify you as freaking out.
Exactly. That's the time that you need to shift into distress tolerance, which has some specific strategies associated with it. We're going to talk about a couple in this episode. Maybe future videos will feature some more, but here we go. The one that I want to focus on is TIPP. TIPP. And it is another acronym, and here it is, T.I.P.P. They love those second P's for some reason. So TIPP, we're going to dive into it. T stands for temperature. And stick with me on this one. It sounds kind of weird, but the idea is that you get a bowl and you fill it with cold water, okay? And then you stand up and you bend over and you hold your breath and you stick your head in the bowl of cold water. And apparently that is supposed to trigger a physiological response in your body that is like the diver reflex. And if you don't have a bowl for the cold water, get like some ice cubes or an ice pack, and you do the same thing. You hold your breath, you bend over, close your eyes, and then put the cold pack to your face, and it's supposed to simulate this dive response or diver's reflex. So when this is helpful is when you feel really anxious, you're ruminating, you're having racing thoughts, and you feel yourself getting really elevated in that sense, and you just need to kind of have a reset where one of the physiological changes associated with the diver's reflex or the dive response is your heart rate actually slows down and is regulated a little bit more. And sometimes when you're in the heat of the moment and you have these raging emotions, that is something that will at least bring your physiology down to a stable state, which will maybe help you get into that under 60 range and be able to make better decisions.
See, when you first mentioned temperature, I was thinking like Sean Paul.
Okay. I got the right temperature.
You from the storm. Oh, no, things to turn you on. And girl, I wonder that you can be the mom. Uh-oh.
That's definitely going in.
So temperature.
Temperature, T.
T, okay.
Next one, I, which stands for intense exercise.
Jumping jacks.
Jumping jacks, running, sprints, swimming, whatever you want it to be, you are doing intense exercise. Maybe it's jazzercise, Zumba, anything that gets the blood flowing, gets the heart pumping. And the idea behind it is this is especially helpful when you're feeling really agitated or angry. You're kind of like doing the punch dance, like Footloose. Like just letting kind of that anger and that agitation out in a healthy way, which is intense exercise.
Or Zac Efron in High School Musical 2, where he's running around all angsty.
Yeah, no, it's a good example. So that's I, which is intense exercise. It's helpful when you're feeling agitated and angry, and it gets a lot of that energy out into something productive. It's not something that should be done, over weeks or months. That's not very healthy. But in that hour or two that you're feeling those really intense emotions, it can be helpful. We got the T, we got the I. The first P stands for paced breathing. We've talked about, anchoring ourselves to our breathing a few times, and I know it's going to pop up more in future episodes, but helps kind of relax your body, and it's going to regulate your heartbeat and your breathing rate in a way that is going to, have this positive physiological response. One way, and there's so many different ways that you can do paced breathing. One way that I like is the 6-7-8 method, which is you breathe in for 6 counts. 5, 6. Hold for 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then exhale slowly for 8 counts, like you're blowing through a straw. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Or longer, whatever you might want it.
I had a little bit more, so
that's
I had
okay. Yeah, that's the 6, 7, 8 method. Do whatever works for you, though. So that paced breathing, anchoring your attention to the breath. So the last letter, that second P, stands for paired muscle relaxation. The reason it's paired is because it's good to pair it with the paced breathing. While you're focusing on your breath, you do muscle relaxation, which looks a little bit like this. It's where you focus your attention on different muscles or different parts of your body. As you become aware of it, let's use your hands for the first example. Your hands and your arms. So in muscle relaxation, as you become aware of your hands and your arms, you're going to actually kind of tense them up or clench them for a second and like flex all of the muscles in your hands and in your arms, and you're going to hold it for, some people do it for 3 to 5 seconds. And then when you hit the end of that, you slowly release that tension and you allow those muscles in your body to relax. And when you pair it with the breathing, maybe you are doing 6 counts in, 6 counts out, you'll tense for 6 counts, and then you'll slowly exhale and then release that tension for the second half of those, so the second 6 counts.
Pro tip, sometimes it's hard to relax certain muscle groups, like tense your neck. How do you do that? It's hard to do. Like I'm going to get a hernia if I try doing that. Just do your best and you'll actually find that your body does the rest.
Yeah. Let's show the kids at home what it would look like to tense the face on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Got it. That's nice. That's real nice. So to review, we have TIPP, and that is T, temperature, I, intense exercise, P, paced breathing, and P, again, paired muscle relaxation. This is what you can remember when you're in that range that's above 60. We call it distress tolerance. Really, it's a method to help you get to a place where you're not going to be doing something that you're going to regret later, and in a place where you're not going to make things worse.
So you're going to need this when you're over a 60, and it's going to be hard to think about it. It's easy to think about it right now. It's hard to think about it in the moment. You got to get this ingrained in yourself. The best way to do that is to go tell somebody about this, maybe teach somebody this. You'll get it ingrained. Yeah. For example, now, whenever there's a fire, I know how to use a fire extinguisher, because instead of tip, it's pass. So you pull the pin.
We don't need to go through all that.
Aim at the base of the fire.
We're going through
Squeeze the handle. Sweep from side to side. Pass me the fire extinguisher. But if your emotions are over 60, tip the table over. No, maybe don't do that. I'm trying to think of, with the fire extinguisher, it's pass me the fire extinguisher.
You might need a tip on how to, you need to get tipped off the edge. No.
If you're falling over with emotion, you got to tip yourself back the right way.
There we go. Let's use that. Okay, cool. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember, there's going to be some more resources in the description below, and we would love to hear from you in the comment section of other resources or strategies that you like to do in distress tolerance or whenever you feel like your emotions are really just out of control and completely taking over you. So we'd love to hear from you. Until next time.